Hi everyone, my name's Simon from Tiny Dino, and today we're going to do a rundown of the JHS Sweet Tea. The Sweet Tea is a dual pedal. It's a pedal that's got two pedals in it. On the right side, one of the pedals is the TS808. And the TS808 is a classic tube screamer. It's actually the original tube screamer, a version of the original tube screamer. And it's got three knobs on it. It's got volume, it's got drive, it's got tone, and they do exactly what you imagine they would do. And on right below the drive, there's actually a toggle, and that toggle allows you to switch between three different voicings on the TS808. On the left side, there's something called an Angry Charlie, which is a replication of a JCM 800 head. It's a high gain distortion pedal. And right now we're gonna dive into the TS808, and then we'll get into the Angry Charlie later. So I'm playing through a American Telly, a Fender American Telly, going into the double pedal, into the Sweet Tea, then going into the Tiny Terror, which is an orange head, and then into a 1x10 cabinet by Marshall, which is then mic'd up by an SM57. So here is my clean tone. And here's what the pedal sounds like with everything flat on the TS808 side, and in the down position for the voicings. Cool, so here's what it sounds like when you turn the drive down, relatively down. It's all but off right now. And here's what it's like when it's all the way up. All right, now it's at zero. So I'm turning the tone all the way down. See what it looks like, as dark as it can go. And this is with the tone up. That is super bright. Okay, so now we're gonna check out the Angry Charlie. The Angry Charlie is, as I mentioned earlier, it's a pedal replication of the JCM 800, which is a very high gain Marshall amp head. And all the attempts to replicate high gain amp heads, as you know, mostly fail. I found that this one maintains a lot of the low end thump that is characteristic of a high gain amp head. It's got four knobs. It's got drive, it's got volume, which would function as you imagine them to, and then it's got two knobs that work a bit differently than you would expect. There's a tone knob that works in reverse. It gets darker as you turn it more to the right, this way. And the presence knob is actually, it's a presence cut. So if you turn it all the way to the left, there's no cut. And if you turn it all the way to the right, there's a bunch of presence cut. So now I'm gonna go ahead and play with it. So here's my clean tone. And here's with everything at 12 o'clock and with the presence cut off. Very, very high gain. So let's check out what it sounds like when the drive is very low. And when it's very high. It's got some gnarly sustain. It's a long sustain. Okay, so now we're gonna mess with the tone. So here's what the tone sounds like when it's like all the way bright. And this is when it is super dark. All right, so let's set that back to nothing, back to 12 o'clock. And now we're gonna check out the presence cut. So I'm gonna show you a presence cut that's halfway, so it's kind of about half of the cut that's available. And then we're gonna do another one that's got the cut all the way on, so as far as it'll go. And this is all with the tone at 12 o'clock. So here's without touching the presence cut at all. And again, here it is with about half of the cut. And I think that's a big difference. I think for that, it's about as big of a difference as the difference between the tone knob all the way dark and all the way bright. So the present cut actually has a lot of reach. And here's what the cut is. It's fully engaged. It sounds like super muffled. I think, at least. It sounds like there's almost like a low pass filter being put down around 2 kilohertz and even lower. So presence cut is pretty significant. And one of the best parts about this pedal is that it's actually two. There's two pedals. So you can use them at the same time. So now I'm going to engage both pedals at the same time, show you what that sounds like. So once again, to remind you what my clean tone is. All right, and here's both of them on. That's huge. The gain is huge. Once again, this is just a tube screamer. And just the TS-808. And then both. So when you're playing live, you need two gain stages. You can go from this crunch tone to something far more distorted. And it stacks very nicely. So this is my friend Anthony, and Anthony is going to show us all the cool things you can do with the pedal while I'm playing it. let's do the other side. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you in the next one.